This video is about how to get cinematic footage shooting with your smartphone, and it is sponsored by FilmConvert, an absolutely fantastic company that makes incredible plugins to raise that production level of yours and make it look very cinematic and professional. Right, you guys in there? Today we're talking about smartphone filmmaking. This video is sponsored by FilmConvert, my very good friends. They make film emulations, plugins, Final Cut Pro for Adobe Premiere for DaVinci. They are absolutely awesome. You're going to see some examples of their fantastic work in this video. And let's start with this crazy cage from Freewell. Now, to film with your smartphone, you need to be really nice and smooth, because it's very light. So once we take all this crap off, let's take it all off, this thing is very light. And the lighter something is, the more kind of wobble you have, the more you're kind of just wobbling around. So the more weight you add to something like a smartphone, the better, the more stable your footage is going to be, even with the fantastic stabilization that come in these new phones nowadays. So you can pick up a fantastic kit from Freewell, like the one I'm sticking on right now. I'm just putting on a macro lens. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? And it means that all your movements are going to be that much smoother. Now, Freewell did start with something like this. It was pretty horrible, but it had the system right here to add filters, magnetic filters, and much like this one right here, they basically just go on like this, and lenses, so I can stick this lens on here. I told them, didn't like the blue, but okay. 16 Pro Max, they came out with this. This is beautiful. It's kind of, you know, it's like an old American muscle car. It's got jagged edges. It's got, it just looks good. It's all black, and it's got the system here as well. So once again, you can stick on the filters right here. They're all magnetic. You can stick on the lenses, everything. But if you do want to go absolutely wild, absolutely crazy, and by the way, these are MagSafe, then you can pick up a massive rig like this, which means that you can stick on everything and have a lot more features and options to create with. Now, just a quick little talk about hard disks. To film in the highest possible quality on your iPhone, you're going to need a hard disk. Now, you can pick up, like, I have a ton of these Samsung T7s, which are great, and you can get like little magnetic things, but it won't fit on here. Like the actual cage gets in the way. It'll fit on here, which is fine. Yeah, that's absolutely fantastic. But it won't fit on here. So iPhone, which has got really small, nice, tiny hard disks that already have MagSafe on them, fit on like that. So if you do want to go that way, you can go that way. And they asked me a couple of times, Phil, have you reviewed our disk? I'm like, no, I'm not going to review it after a week or even after a month. I've been using this for about 6-7 months. And I've been using it a lot, and it hasn't failed on me once. So I can highly recommend this. It's a 2 terabyte disk. It's very fast. It works well. No hassle at all. Back to this. So yeah, so this, it basically comprises of the cage, yeah, which is this. And it has a whole load of quarter 20s. It's got access to all, you know, the port, the speakers. It is rubberized inside. So when you do clamp it down, because you clamp it down with these little notches, it's in there nice and tight. It won't fall out. And you have quarter 20s, and you have cold shoes, and you have places to stick these. So you basically can hold it like this. And believe it or not, one of these is a selfie stick. So you can basically do something like this. I mean, how cool is that? They have thought of everything, because everything spins on these. Woo! That almost fell down. And I'll tell you what that is in a second. So you have a whole load of options with these, and they clamp on so quickly on any side you want. And you're basically ready to roll and rock and do whatever you guys do. On one of these, actually, it's a pull-out tripod that you can stick on the bottom. This because it has quarter 20 at the bottom there. Anyway, so you've got this rig, and it makes your filming a lot more stable. At the top here, so this little bit that fell out is actually a Bluetooth shutter. You want it on the left on your thumb, you can do that. You want it on the right on your thumb, you can do that. You can swap these around. You want to swap it so it's on your front finger, you can do that. So instead of having to press the actual screen right there, you can basically spin these around as much as you want, and, you know, it works perfectly. Lenses. Freewell have a lot of lenses. They are, above all, a filter company, and they have fantastic optics. So you basically stick it in there, spin it around, and boom, you now have a macro lens. And not like the macro lens on your iPhone, but a really, really nice, big, fat macro lens that gets beautiful close-ups. Now, not only do they have a macro lens, they have a long lens, they have a wide lens, they have an anamorphic 1.33, they have an anamorphic 1.55. I think they're just doing the 55 right now. Now, I'm going to be honest with you guys, I don't like the flares in the anamorphic, and I have told Freewell about this. This video is not sponsored by Freewell. They do send me out their gear because we've worked together for a long time. We have a fantastic relationship, but I've told them I don't like the flares. I think they have gold and blue. I don't like either of those because it's giving my image already a look that I don't want. I've been telling them I want neutral flares. So basically the light, the color of the light that's hitting your lens, it will have that color. It's not going to all be orange or all be sci-fi blue. I don't like that look. It's a little bit childish. So hopefully they can fix that and also make them a little bit more subtle because I feel they're a little bit too strong. They're coming in just, across the screen and it kind of hurts a little bit too much. I do love anamorphics, but if it could be a little bit more subtle, that would be fantastic. Filters. These are absolutely fantastic because they are so fast and they're extremely strong. So you basically stick them on. They only go one way. So if you put it on the other way, it won't put it on one way. And now you have an ND filter that you can basically, at the top, you've got everything. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's a VND. There is also an SND, so a snow mist. You have kaleidoscope. You have crazy effect filters. Freewell knows their filters very well. So with this whole setup, you can go out there and you can film some beautiful, beautiful footage that's very nice and smooth, and you can get some very creative shots with what you already have in your pocket. Now, I'm not sure how much all of this costs. I'll add some links down below, so if you do want to find links to all of this stuff, including this funky hard disk, you can do, and especially FilmConvert. What we're going to do now is we're going to go outside. We're going to grab, 3 shots, different shots with the different lenses, and you can see what it looks like, especially the anamorphic. And, you can judge for yourself if this is something that interests you. It interests me because it just adds the extra, level, extra finesse to smartphone filmmaking. Let's go outside, grab some shots, and edit them, see what FilmConvert can do. Because FilmConvert, by the way, does have profiles. They make profiles. They spend countless days and nights creating profiles for different cameras. So they have it for the iPhone, they have it for the Sony, for the GoPro, for the DJI, the drones, every single one separately. They're an incredible company that I can very, very highly recommend. I've worked with them for a long time, and it's something that's very close to my heart because they make film emulations, which is just beautiful. Anyway, let's go. So right here we have the macro lens, and as you can see, it looks pretty cool on that big rig. And you hold it nice and close, and you can move very smoothly around anything really, and it just gives it that incredibly beautiful cinematic look, obviously mixed with a bit of FilmConvert. This is the long lens, and I also like the long lens. It's pretty sharp. It gives this kind of nice cinematic look to your footage, and it's very clean. It's very, very clean for a long lens that you stick on the front of your iPhone. When it comes to anamorphics, the anamorphic lens, it's okay. It's got a very kind of wobbly feeling to the sides of it, especially when you're walking. I'm not a massive fan of it. Like I said, I wish the flares were much more subtle, and I wish they were neutral. But for shots like this, it really gives it a cool look, especially if you give it kind of this dark, grungy kind of grade. It does a really nice job. So when it comes to using FilmConvert to grade all of this, it's pretty simple. If we open up FilmConvert, we have this little window, and here is exactly where we choose the make, model, and profile. Now, if you don't have the profile, you can download any single one of these. This is what it looks like without anything, so basically raw footage from the iPhone. We choose Apple. As you can see, I don't have that profile, but if we go to the 16 Pro, I have it downloaded and it's right there. It looks fantastic. This is with Kodak 5207 Vision Free stock, and basically here we can change exposure, temperature, your tint, basically your primary corrections. that you do before you get crazy with stuff. In the film stock, like I said, we have various film stocks here, which are absolutely incredible. From Kodak to Fuji to Ilford even, so we have photographic stocks here, we have Polaroid 600, we have a whole load of fantastic stocks that you can choose from to really get that look you're going for with your footage. And this is normal iPhone footage, so you can make it look cinematic, filmic, it's really got a lot of flexibility, especially of all these sliders that FilmConvert give us. So what FilmConvert Nitrate basically does is adds character to your very clean, clinical iPhone footage. You can change the grain response, you can change the film size preset, so you can have bigger grain, smaller grain, and you can really do a lot with this, including changing the grain curve, so deciding where the grain is going to be. If you don't like it in the highlights or in the darks, you can absolutely change that. And apart from that, we have halation, which you can also buy as a separate plugin. You don't have to have it inside the FilmConvert Nitrate app. You can buy it completely separately if you don't want to have the whole nitrate. And you can change everything in terms of color wheels, curves, and levels. So all in all, FilmConvert Nitrate, one of the best, if not one of my favorite plugins ever. I normally do a mix of about 70% to keep it as real as possible. So as you can see, putting all that together can really change how your footage looks. It adds a little bit more class to your footage, a lot of diversity, and especially with stuff like the ND filters, they allow you to film at a certain shutter speed. Because without them, you'd be filming, really high and everything would be really sharp. But like if you look at my video here, my hands are naturally blurred, which is natural motion blur because I'm filming at 1/50th shutter because my frame rate is 25 frames per second. And if if you play with the 180-degree rule and you're being legal, then that 25 frames is going to be double. So 1/50th to get natural motion blur like you do in Hollywood movies. That's why they look so nice. You can obviously break those rules if you know how to, but at the beginning, I suggest clinging to them with your life. I have done most of my life, and I'm proud and happy I do. Anyway, all of these links are down below. If you like my video, give me a like, subscribe, ring that bell, all that jazz. Maybe go to FilmConvert's Instagram, give them some love. I will.